Weekend.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the podcast for today.
Yeah, so we hope that you enjoy it. In the podcast, there will be discussions about the Xbox Series X July update conference thing.
They did their digital press release stuff yesterday, like their digital presentation.
Mm-hmm. We talk about who the real victims are in the mask debate, things that Obadiah have started...
Going back to the real victims thing, which, I'll just spoil the victim thing about donuts. Don't forget today, Krispy Kreme is doing their Reese's donuts back for like one day only.
What?
Did you not know that?
No.
Today it's like, I think it's today. Yeah, you'll have to look because a listener went and got some. But remember the Reese's donuts?
Yeah.
They've been gone, but I think it's today they come back. But not for a while. It might just be a one-day thing. He's looking.
Is bringing back 3 Reese's donuts that can be breakfast or dessert. I'm looking because we need to know.
So I wasn't sure. You can always grab
Starting
those today.
July 24th, participating Krispy Kreme will be throwing it back by offering 3 donuts over the last 3 years.
Today.
It doesn't say that it's only a one-day thing, but
you don't want to risk it.
July 24th through August 16th.
Oh, okay. You have a little time then.
Yeah, but remember what happened the last time? We were like, we'll go to Krispy Kreme later.
And we never did. And then we missed out on it.
So let's just all be careful with that one.
But yeah, we talk about donuts and a fight, an argument, and how they're the victims.
Yeah.
So.
I got nothing else. Oh, well, we don't have other things. We do have other things. I mean, we talk Disney, McDonald's, jealousy, Washington football team, and Seattle Krakens. Into the world movies, McDonald's. We'll keep you busy.
That's it. So enjoy the podcast today. Say hello. You can follow us on our Facebook page. That's available if you want to message us anytime, especially over the weekend. If you come across a story you want us to cover in the podcast, send it to RadioU Riot on Facebook, or you can always text us, 877-2-RADIO-U. Put it's for the Riot in your podcast listener.
All right.
Have a
Anything
great
else?
weekend.
Okay. Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I'll tell you what, Nikki, I'm back on the drug.
What do you mean?
I'm back on Dan Carlin Hardcore History.
Hardcore? Oh, it's a podcast.
It's a podcast. I
didn't think you were going to say that.
He put out a new, okay. It's just this podcast. They're like 3 or 4 hours long where he just looks at something in history.
And isn't one podcast one thing in history? So it's not like 3 hours long.
Oh, no. Like right now, what got me back was I saw that he had released a new one in the Supernova in the East category. And I believe... So
in case you think, it's like a lot of history stuff throughout this 3 hour long episode.
Oh, no.
I think it's like one thing and it's super long.
Yeah, it's crazy long. You know what? I can't. Can I just say that I really suck at the Apple Podcast app?
Well, you're learning.
I just feel like there's something I wanted to do and it seems obvious and it's like, no, that's not the way it works.
You did it the hard way.
Anyway, right now I'm on this Supernova in the East thing and they're like 4 hours long. It's about, in this case, it's about World War II.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just on and on and on. And you know what? It is one of the few things I have found that I could sit there and just listen.
You love it?
I had planned on listening to an album this morning on my way to work. And my phone connected to my car and just started playing this. And I was like, you know what?
It's meant to be.
It's good enough.
Why don't I just join in on these hour-long episodes?
4
hours of episodes.
Oh, yeah, it just on and on and on. And I right now, that's just where my brain is.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's so good.
You used to really like it.
Love it. So, guys, today the show, we're canceling the show.
No one said that.
I'm going to plug my phone in. We're going to listen together. If I hear something I want to talk about, I'll just hit pause.
Does that sound good to everybody? Now, we can't do music then.
No, we can't. Meet back here in 5 minutes, and because everybody needs to get their coffee, and we're just going to sit and we're just going to listen.
I don't want to sit here for that. I did not want to.
You know what?
I'm sure I'd like it once we got into it.
The first 3 minutes,
I'll be hooked.
You would just you'd be like, wow.
You know you're listening to a really long podcast when you're like 3 hours go by. You're like, it didn't even feel like more than 1 hour.
You know, Nikki, I listened to part of a speech from FDR in which he discussed what do you do, and this has nothing to do with our situation. This was recorded a couple years ago. You know, what do you do when there's a sickness in the community? You quarantine to protect the community. And I was like, man, shut up. It's relevant. I don't want to hear about it.
All right. Well,
history is teaching me.
We're not going to do that. I think we'll still just stick with music today, if that's okay with everybody.
Well, I mean, maybe everybody else.
But not you.
I have plans.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU. RadioU.
You know, we've talked here on the show about where the whole mask debate is going, but one of the things that I want to make sure that we stay focused on is that, like, there are two sides to the mask debate, but then there are some people that are just stuck in the middle of the mask debate and, like, they don't want to be.
Sure.
You know? And that's why when I look at this story here, I just see the victims in this story and not the people that are perpetrating the violence. And the victims here are the donuts.
Oh. You don't want to hear something like this.
In El Paso, Nikki, at Dapper Donut.
Oh, I thought like the name.
Yeah, there was an incident there.
Yeah.
In which a lady was up at the counter and she wore a mask into the store.
Then she took it off.
She came up to the counter, pulls her mask down, and starts talking to the employee, which in a lot of ways kind of defeats the purpose of the mask.
It does, but I've seen people do it, and I've seen people lower it under your nose, like you're either just really not aware or you're doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one it is.
So the lady behind the counter was like, ma'am, I need you to put your mask on. I can't help you until you have your mask up.
Yeah.
And the lady became angry, and she threw her donuts at the woman behind the counter.
Well, now who does that help?
That doesn't help anybody.
It's not productive.
And who does it hurt?
It hurts the donuts.
The donuts.
And
Because
everybody else after who wanted to order something.
Once those donuts get flung through the air, what happens to them? They don't get eaten.
It's not their fault.
I mean, if she was going to be angry, why didn't she, like, here, you know, hold my donut?
I would have thrown the other ones I didn't pay for.
Yeah. Or throw the box. All right? Set the donuts nicely out on some napkins. Throw the box.
You can still, I mean, you'll lose some of the momentum from your anger, but you can still do something without hurting those.
When you're nicely stacking the donuts, maybe it'll give you time to rethink it.
You're like, well, maybe I will just put my mask on.
You know what? Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Hey, I'm still a believer that I bet you she's, there's been a few other things that have happened that day, and she wasn't handling it right.
I know. But again, who pays the price for when we lose our temper?
The poor donuts.
Other people do. Other things do. Donuts. Donuts pay the price. And, you know, when I'm having a bad day, I like to pay the price for donuts so they can help me.
So they can actually make the day better.
These don't deserve
That does sound good.
the treatment that they got. Yeah, donut sounds great.
So the question is, if you're making a statement, you're flipping out at the place, and you throw your donuts, and then you get it out of your system. You know, sometimes you just got to say something or you just do something and then you calm down. Do you pick up your donuts and go, or?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it took her, like, I feel like maybe she had to get outside before she got upset. But I'll tell you this, she's probably not allowed back in there.
No, you're out.
And now she's got to have friends go get her donuts.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
Hey, guys. You're listening to the sound of a giver, of a philanthropist. I support important causes, Nikki.
So what did you support that was helping them and you weren't doing it for yourself?
You know what, Nikki? I just gave money to McGeezy. McGeezy is a nonprofit organization in Minneapolis that supports Native American education, especially in what appears to be multimedia production.
Yeah.
And their building was trashed during the riots.
Oh, was it? Aww.
Yeah. So I'm sure they contributed greatly to the terrible things that happened in Minneapolis and deserve to have their building burned down.
That's not at all how it was supposed to go.
No, it's not. And so they're well known for doing great work, apparently. I'm talking about what other people have said. I'm not from Minneapolis, and I'm not truly familiar with exactly what they do.
However, what was the company?
McGeezy. And, the reason that I'm supporting them, selfishly, in this all, is that the team at Mystery Science Theater 3000 yesterday said that they will do another episode if they can raise $10,000.
Oh, for the company's behalf?
They have since raised $22,000.
Hey, you're getting a new episode.
And I decided that there was no way, even though they had already met their goal, I still wanted to be in the mix. So I chucked some money at that because, again, see what a terrible person I am. I'm sure it's a very worthwhile cause.
But you really just want new Mystery Science Theater?
Yes, I do. And so I am trusting their wisdom in choosing and chucking my money.
So what does a new episode of Mystery Science Theater look like?
Well, it gets better. It's the original cast from I guess it's like two of the original cast members. I think the third cast member might be a different person, but they're bringing most of the band back together.
But they're not on Netflix, though, still.
I don't know. Maybe
so where would it go?
Maybe it goes on YouTube.
What will they do, Obi?
I don't have the details, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I don't even care.
Just whatever, whenever, you just decided to support.
They gave. I got in. I wanted to make it happen. I'm excited about whatever it is they end up doing.
That's nice.
It'll be great. So
I like when companies, shows and stuff, they use their power to help towards a good cause.
Yeah, and quite frankly, a lot of times I feel like they end up raising money for something that I don't want to give to. Mm-hmm. And in this particular case, I think it sounds great. What a great thing that they're doing there.
Hey, good job, Obi. And good job, Mystery Science Theater.
I do love it.
It's his favorite thing.
I do love it.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
Off air, and I'm not going to get into all the details, but Nikki and I were just talking about basically someone saying, oh, that person looks this way, then they are obviously blank. And it really just came down to they wear glasses. They must be really smart, and they're some kind of nerd. Mm-hmm. This was from someone that you would consider to be a very progressive commentator in the news. And I was like, wow.
But it was being very much like a stereotype. And
yeah, big time. Playing off the stereotype. And I was like, man, that's rough. Just because they look a certain way, that means they must act a certain way, behave a certain way, have these certain characteristics, on and on and on. Ridiculous. I just want to throw this out there that it is true that a lot of times people try to shoehorn us. And look, I get it. I think we all do it. And I don't think it's completely unhealthy, that you see a person and you make certain assumptions. The unfairness is when you make negative assumptions about that person, or when you want to try to force them to live under the assumptions you have made about them. I mean, if I see you wearing glasses, I'm going to assume that you need help seeing. That's as far as it really needs to go. I wear glasses. I guess what I'm trying to say is this, is that everybody likes to look on the outside of who you are. And if you are tired of people trying to dictate to you that you have to behave a certain way because you look a certain way or whatever, I want you to know that God looks past the outside and sees who you are on the inside. They might say, you're fat, you couldn't possibly be an athlete. And I'm like, bro, I go to the gym all the time. I just like Cheetos. And so, there are just assumptions that people make about who we are and what we are based only on what we look like. And that's not who God is. God loves you as you are and sees you for who you really are. And that's a beautiful thing. When God says to you that he loves you, he sees all of you, not just what people see when they walk past you, the clothes you wear, the glasses you wear, the color of your hair, whatever it is. He sees you for who you are, and he loves you. So you know what? let's not get to judging people based on their appearance too much and take a lesson from the big man. Let's get to know people for who they are and not just what they look like. And you know what? If you don't know God that way, if you haven't met him, it's a great time. You can get to know God for who he is and not just who everybody says he is. Say, Jesus, I want to know you. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. And I want to know who you are and what you're really about. And I'll tell you, God loves to hear asks like that.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on Radio U.
What is it that I have in common with Kanye West? When you think Obadiah and Kanye, what do you think? And it's like, well, you both have mental health issues. Okay, yeah. That's true, but wrong. Kanye and I both shop at Walmart.
Hey, you went to Walmart.
I went to Walmart yesterday.
He went to Walmart.
Kanye went to Walmart yesterday. We're practically the same.
Don't you feel like news was trying to really be mean by saying like he's having another breakdown by the fact that he is shopping at Walmart?
Yes.
Which then in turn, for all the normal people that just shop at Walmart, makes everybody else feel bad.
I literally thought to myself when I saw that he was at Walmart, my thought was, good.
Good.
Good. You know what? We need more quote unquote media elites. They need to go shop at Walmart.
Need to see.
I mean, you know, what's one of the, almost every time you end up at a presidential whatever, sometimes some reporter will try to, you know, ambush them and be like, so what's the price of milk?
Yeah, to show, like how they're not really.
Just how disconnected they are from the common person. Kanye might know what the price of milk is right now. He's at Walmart shopping. Good. More people. The president should go shopping. Just go to Walmart. Don't campaign. Put a mask on. Hide something. Shop Walmart. See what it's like down here.
Well, again,
with the rest of us.
I felt like the media was trying to shame everybody else, though. And I don't know if they realize that that's how it was coming off. They're like, well, he's having trouble again because he went to Walmart.
His mind's obviously going. He's shopping at Walmart.
Because that's where he went. So I don't know if the news caught on again that that's how the tone was of what they were reporting, and that wasn't the nicest.
Well, think about how many of us go. I shop at Walmart. I mean, granted, I don't love going there, and
only people who do go there can make comments about it.
But I mean, like, whatever. Sometimes you need the goods, and they have them. You know, sometimes you need that exclusive Pringles flavor, and that's where you go. Okay, I don't have an assistant to send out to Walmart who just expenses it. I have to go out there and do it myself.
Find it yourself.
That was my thought, as Nikki was saying, the tone in the media. And I was like, well, that just goes to show you that these guys aren't shopping at Walmart either.
They don't know. Jim just texted, don't forget to wear your PJs. And see, again, some people might say, oh.
Judging Jim? You're judging Jim.
No, because you're allowed to there.
That's
it's
right.
fine.
They accept things there.
Yeah, they do.
They accept you. They accepted me. I mean, I had to wear my mask, but like, they didn't judge me at Walmart. That's a real judgment-free zone. They'll accept anybody over there.
Yeah, I did notice that article yesterday, though. That was around.
Even Kanye.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, postponements.
Remember, every time something gets postponed, we're going to hear this right in our heads.
Okay, so Nikki, for you, I have Mulan.
Yeah.
They've changed it from delayed to delayed.
Here's this terrible word.
Indefinitely.
I don't like the word because it makes me feel like when I read it, I thought, are we never going to see it? Like forever?
So another item, Tenet, which I was really excited about, that has also been delayed indefinitely.
It just means that they've not given its new release date. They're just tired of even saying something.
They also got out there to say, yeah, it's not coming to video on demand. So anybody that was thinking that it would, they're like, nah, brah.
That's Tenet saying that. Mulan could.
It could. You're right.
Mulan should.
Here, let me get you a couple more delays. Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
Delayed. Next year. Quiet Place 2.
Delayed again.
Next year. The Spider-Man Far From Home sequel, that's being pushed into the end of next year.
Okay.
I also saw, not that this really hurts me, but James Cameron came out yesterday to say that Avatar 2 delayed again.
I think those are all pushed back a year from that point.
Same thing. I guess Disney had a new Star Wars something on the way, and they're like, yeah,
also
that's
delayed a year. Yeah. There's going to be no movies this year. I think, are we all settling in on that?
That's where you're wrong, Nikki.
Why am I wrong?
I have right here a movie that has not been delayed.
What is it?
That is absolutely going to video on demand. It is. I don't care what you say.
Are
this
you
movie
saying
is
Bill and
not.
Ted?
Okay, hold that. I was going to say New Mutants.
Which one's that?
That is that X-Men Marvel. No, okay. It's an X-Men movie made by 20th Century Fox before Disney bought them.
Yeah.
That it was supposed to come out like 3 years ago.
That one? You mean it still hasn't been out?
No. So they say it's coming out August 28th.
Just need to dump that out.
It's not. But what did I say on this show a couple days ago was going to video on demand, even though they hadn't announced it?
What?
Bill and Ted 3.
Yeah.
September 1st, video on demand.
Oh, so they're not going to release it in theaters?
Well, okay. They say they'll release it in select theaters.
If your state has one open.
AKA if there are any open.
We talked. There's like 537 or whatever in the 500s. Theaters that like do what's considered the reporting. So there is about that many theaters that are still open.
And that includes drive-ins.
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
So, maybe you'll be able to go to the drive-in to see the new Bill and Ted movie.
If not, it feels like a video on demand also, and that's not an insult. It just feels like a good choice.
I'll tell you right now, my thoughts were, I don't know about Bill and Ted because I don't know who that movie is for.
I think people would want to privately watch that, but not necessarily go out and make a thing.
See, I feel like that New Mutants movie, the best thing that could possibly happen to that is that it goes video on demand. Because I feel like people probably wouldn't have been super into it in the theater. But man, video on demand, you're desperate. You're just like, okay, here's some money. Show me something new.
Please let me see something. I really want to watch a movie.
I wanted there to be a movie one time. I heard it was coming.
Well, back to Bill and Ted for that third movie. I watched the updated trailer yesterday, and it just said out like in August.
Oh, really?
It didn't have any more details. I'm sure that was before their announcement. And when I watched the trailer, in my mind the whole time is like, on demand, on demand, on demand. Like it just screams on demand.
I feel like that's a movie they could probably do pretty well there.
Yeah, people want to watch something, so why not?
Yeah. And, they don't have they don't have tenant money wrapped up in that. Like producing Bill and Ted 3, they didn't destroy an actual 747.
They said that was cheaper than you thought it would be.
Yeah, well, be that as it may.
But for Bill and Ted, they said, how did they describe it? They were calling it like a fancy independent film, but still feels like very independent.
You know what? That actually appeals to me.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But yep, there you go. There's your postponements. Everything except Bill and Ted, which goes on demand.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
And here we are again. Another digital sale for my digital lifestyle.
What's going to try to get you today?
Man, I'll tell you what. Epic. Here's what kills me. I thought they already had this. This is just an online retailer. They're having their summer sale, and they only have it once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently they were having like a spring sale, and now it's actually summer. So now they're having their actual summer sale, and now I feel like now that I'm propelling towards the end of the summer, I'm like, man, I haven't bought anything in like a month.
I'm sorry. Is it like summer clothes?
No,
or is it electronic?
It's the Epic Game Store.
It's a game sale. Okay, it's a game sale. There's nothing else to get, though.
What do you mean?
Is there anything left game-wise that
yes,
there is stuff still left?
There's two things I would like to pick up. One of which is I've got a $10 off coupon. And
you do?
I do. They do coupons. That's like their hook. Is what's great is you get a coupon.
Can you double it, or what's the word if you have a coupon? You BOGO or something?
BOGO, yeah. But no, what they do is every time you buy something, they give you another $10 off coupon, which
a dealer.
So that you're always hooked?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you this. It has kept me coming back because I know that I can get $10 off whatever it is that their sale price is. But Horizon Zero Dawn of PlayStation fame is coming to the PC on August 6th. No, we're still like 2 weeks out on that. And I have every intention on buying it, and I can use my coupon.
Oh, my goodness.
Think about it.
Oh, no way.
I can use my coupon.
$10 off. Yay.
$10 off, Nikki?
On a game, that's actually quite good.
It's like 20. It's literally 20% off.
Ooh.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound as good.
Well, just don't say any more out loud.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, is there another game, though? I thought you said there's a couple.
We don't have to get into it. It's
okay,
fine.
so there might be something you get.
You guys will just judge me, and I don't need that. So it's fine.
You're the one who was telling us. You told us there was another sale.
It's compulsory, Nikki. I have to talk about it. What else? What else?
Sometimes talking through something will talk you down from it, or it'll just solidify the fact that you're going to get it.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So yesterday, they had the Xbox Series X Games Showcase of July 2020.
So, that was a lot to say. So the Xbox Series X is the one that's supposed to come out this fall.
You are correct, Nikki.
So they're letting you know about the game so you can get excited because they want you to get so excited for the new stuff that you'd buy the new console.
The one thing I will say that of all the announcements they made that I thought was the absolute coolest up front is they said if you have Xbox Game Pass, every single game that they showed yesterday will be available on Game Pass at launch. So when the game comes out, if you're a Game Pass person, you've got access to that game.
Meaning you could just play it without paying extra?
Right. So, I mean, Game Pass is like $15 a month. If you're careful, you can scam some cheaper ways online, but that's not necessarily cheap. But at the same time, $15 a month for a lot of people is a lot better than $60 every other month for a new game or something like that. So that's interesting. One of the games that has never come to Xbox that they were pumping up was Dragon Quest XI. There's a new version of that that's coming. Of course, you saw some Watch Dogs Legion. Is that coming to Game Pass? I wonder if that didn't feel right. But the other big thing let me get you your list. State of Decay 3, they showed a new Forza Motorsport, DLC for the Outer Worlds, Phantasy Star Online 2, Psychonauts 2, Destiny 2, and all of its expansion passes are coming to Game Pass. So that means that if you normally play Destiny 2 and you keep buying expansions, all of that will be free in Game Pass. And it will also be playable through the xCloud, which they're adding to Xbox Game Pass, which means that whatever your Xbox Game Pass games are, you can play them on your phone. You can play them on a PC. Like, you can play them just about anywhere except for a PlayStation, of course.
Well, no one's doing that.
They announced a Fable reboot, which, it was a cool trailer. And then the big one yesterday was they showed off something like 8.5 to 9 minutes of Halo Infinite gameplay.
I saw that trending on YouTube, so I saw it there.
I felt like people
were mean about it?
I felt like people were rough on it. And you know what? What's funny is, of course,
look good, or like why more Halo?
A lot of people complained saying that it didn't look as good as like the old Halo games, which I will say this. As someone that is replaying, I just finished Halo 3 and I'm making my way through Halo Reach right now. It has a much smoother, shinier look than some of those older games. Don't hate me for this, but there is a subtlety in the quality of the presentation that you don't see in older games. And that subtlety is actually what makes it so impressive. I made sure last night that I watched it on YouTube in 4K at 60 frames a second. So I pulled it up on my TV so I could get a full look at it. And I thought it was gorgeous. Like, I thought that game looked spectacular. And if you like playing Halo, that's some Halo. If you were looking for something other than Halo,
well, you won't like it then.
You should probably find a different game to play. And I mean,
that's reasonable, Obi, and I don't want to bring that to this show.
I don't want to be a punk about it, but like, if you don't like Star Trek, you shouldn't watch Star Trek.
It's fine.
I know, but it's true. But I thought it looked great.
No console stuff though, or
no announcement as far as like a release date. Everything. Well, for this year just says holiday 2020. Most of the stuff they showed, not all, but a lot of it is just coming out next year.
Sure.
Or maybe even further out than that. But I thought it was a great presentation. I saw a ton of games. Maybe ton is an exaggeration, but I saw several games that I would be interested in playing. Yeah.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
Man, how dumb is it that the Washington Redskins are now going to be called Washington Football Team?
So if you look closely, though, this is how I interpret this. This is only during this season.
It is. It's just this season.
So I feel like they want more time to actually come up with an official name. So this is a placeholder until then.
And
it's a ridiculous sounding thing, but they don't want to go to commit to something else since this is a pretty quick turnaround.
Right. And on the one hand, okay, whether or not you think it, I don't want to get into the whole thing. Like, their stance is like, we finally decided that this is a racist symbol and we're removing it. And so they've said we want to remove it so quickly that we haven't even thought about a new name yet.
Well, they have to have something.
Right. So this to me just feels a little wishy-washy. It's like, guys, just pick something. I feel
if not, maybe they all have to go to this. It's just like,
Where?
place and then football team.
Okay. Who are you rooting for? Washington?
Yeah, Washington.
I mean, in fairness, like, I'm an Ohio State fan, and do I say I'm a big fan of the Ohio State Brutuses? No. Well, I mean, but Buckeyes. I mean, Brutus is the Buckeye. I don't know. Choose an inanimate object. Like, we're the Washington trees. See,
even worse.
And then you can have like Tree-E or something that could be your mascot.
Obi's not in this. He's not going to help them. They're not. I don't think
We're
they're
the Washington Rocks.
Nope, they're not coming
Pine
to you.
cones.
They're not coming to you.
There's a lot of evergreens in the state of Washington.
Now that is true.
The Washington Waterfalls.
I don't know if that screams football though.
It doesn't matter. Like, if you choose an inanimate object, probably not, but I would like to think that that's something you could choose that would be devoid of any sort
controversy.
of
There'll be controversy for everything.
How dare you choose the pine cone?
Do you know about the pine cone?
But I mean, I'll tell you this. I feel like they, right from underneath their noses, had like an amazing idea stolen. Washington's NHL team is going to be the Washington Krakens.
Why are they the Krakens?
It's the Seattle Krakens, actually.
Why?
That's awesome.
No, the word Kraken is awesome, but in the context of an NHL team, why?
Why not?
Why?
Because the Kraken comes out from under the ice.
There is no Kraken. There is, and it's not an ice thing. It doesn't really come out of the ice. It comes out of the water, the ocean. It would not come out if there was ice because it would be docile at that point. It'd be frozen.
Nikki, see, right there just goes to show you care too much about the only
where it's coming from.
The only thing that really needs to happen for a really good mascot, as far as I'm concerned, is, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Done.
That's what I feel like was they had a meeting full of people who were like, that's amazing. And no one stepped up and said, why? Why the Kraken?
No, they had one person. You know what you are? You're that meme. I'm the guy at the front that's like, we're going to be the Washington Krakens. And you're that guy that's like, well, it's not even from the ice. And then they throw you out the window.
I don't feel like that one works.
I love it.
Feels like if you were doing a monster movie or something.
That's what's perfect about it.
Godzilla versus the Kraken, that's fine. But for an NHL team, it makes no sense.
I think it's awesome. The only problem that I can see is whoever can point to the Kraken as their mythology, they could argue cultural appropriation. So, like, is the Kraken from Greek mythology? So does that mean that there are going to be people in Greece that would be upset about that? See, I don't think so. I think it'll probably be all right.
Yeah, Jeff wanted to remind you, the Washington, they play in Washington, D.C.
Who?
Washington Redskins.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Not the other one.
I actually forgot.
That's why he was picking like waterfalls.
Fine. The Washington cherry blossoms.
They're in Maryland.
That's fine. The Washington swamp.
That
it's
could work.
Perfect. They're the swamp, and the Capitol building is their mascot. Whoa! It's perfect. Problem solved.
Problem
You know what?
solved.
Actually, it makes so much more sense to me that a DC team couldn't agree on anything. I really didn't know. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I really didn't know.
Oh, well, this is fun.
Dude, the Kraken, the best!
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, what are you doing?
What? Did you look at the KFC site I sent you?
No, Nikki she is trying to shove her food and her clothing
All in
together.
one. Why not?
Her food. Okay, what is up with the girl in the video?
The
Did you watch
KFC
the
one?
video?
I did. It's so fashion.
It's terrifying.
It is. So KFC,
I feel like I'm watching Audition and that girl's going to put me in the fryer.
I feel like we talked about this earlier this year, but then everybody wondered when they were actually coming out. But the KFC Crocs collab is finally going to be available on Tuesday. And they're coming out with like a traditional Croc and then a clog a Croc that looks like a bucket. So it's a taller heel one. So those are coming out on Tuesday with the little chicken. What are they called? The gibbets, the little charm things that go on the front. Then there's ones that look like chicken legs.
Oh, my gosh. So there's that. And then tell everybody what you bought.
Why?
Because.
Why?
Because.
Well, I was telling Obi, Antisocial Social Club is a merchandise company. Love them or hate them, but they came out with a Panda Express collab. And so I bought
And
the
you
hoodie.
bought it.
I did. I don't know if I'll ever see it. That's why people kind of hate them. You
Well,
give them money.
They're antisocial, Nikki. Like, they don't have time to, hang out.
Well, no, they don't have time to send you what you purchased.
Well?
So, remember when you ordered those 4K discs from Australia?
Yeah.
And it was like, I wonder when it'll come. That's how this is. People say you're lucky if you get them, even though you paid for it. So.
Wouldn't it be funny if my 4K Blu-rays from Australia shipped faster
I know that my hoodie.
than your hoodie that's made right here in the USA?
So I don't know, but going back to the KFC collab, that is on Tuesday. They go for sale starting at noon that day, and they're there.
You're in.
Oh, I'm not. These are bold. I can't. I don't.
Nikki, I think the girl.
I do not
think
have
you should.
the fashion sense to wear this. That is not my style.
I think you should reach out and you should try to recreate this girl's entire
complete outfit.
Those clogs. That photo of her in the clogs, like those things are crazy.
You really
They're
have
so
to
big.
Yeah, you really have to have a style to wear these things. But a lot of people collect these specialty Crocs, the ones that they do for collabs. So those are there.
It's really something. So let's see. Do you want fried chicken Crocs or fried chicken sweatshirts? They're both fried.
Actually, yeah, that's what is the theme through all of this? I like chicken.
Fried chicken is the theme, Nikki.
Apparently that is.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio-U.
Nikki, what's your... Well, actually, what am I saying? Your stance on fast food is that not only do you want to eat it, you want to wear it.
I love fast food.
You're in.
It's consistent. You go to a restaurant, especially if it's more expensive, you don't know, and there's a lot more money on the table that could be just wasted if it's not good. But like you go to McDonald's, it's going to be the same most times.
I love this survey. I mean, I can't imagine that it's a remotely a scientific survey. But in the UK, one poll did one in which they were asking people like, hey, what are annoying things that the person you're in a relationship with, what do they do that annoys you? And they came up with stuff like didn't put the cap on the toothpaste. But the one that sticks out that popped up consistently was went to McDonald's without me.
Oh, and didn't bring something back?
No. Just went to McDonald's without me.
So just ate there?
Maybe if you brought something back that wouldn't count.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, just that. Like just went to McDonald's without me. They consider that to be
That's
a terrible relationship offense.
It hurts your feelings because say you happen to want something and you would have seen them and you didn't get anything.
Tell the truth.
Oh, Eric does it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, he does it a lot for breakfast. And then sometimes he'll go, like if he has to run an errand later in the day or in the evening, he'll then stop by. And it's like, gee, I wonder why you were gone for so long because he goes through like Wendy's or McDonald's.
Well, why don't you just tell him in advance, if you go to Wendy's, I want something.
Because I might not. What if I'm not having anything at that time? Like, say we're fasting or something, and then he doesn't check.
You have done this to
myself.
yourself.
I know, absolutely.
You've done it to
That doesn't mean I'm not
yourself.
sad. I'm just sad I'm not eating the food.
So what you've actually done is you're projecting.
Pretty much.
You're pushing your sad onto Eric.
Oh, yeah.
And blaming him for it.
Oh, yeah. The other day he went, he was kind of like, I think embarrassed too, but he went to Wendy's and it's like almost 10 o'clock at night. Our fish tank, part of it had broken, so we had to go get something so the fish didn't die. But he got like a chicken sandwich, 10-piece chicken nugget or something like that, a Frosty, like all this. It was like a chicken pack thing that they had, and I just laughed so hard. I was like, why are we doing this? It's late at night. We're not supposed to eat.
Did you eat some of it too?
No, he didn't tell me he went, so he didn't bring anything back.
He ate all of that?
He ate all. And we had a very large dinner. I was like, wait, why are we doing this?
Man.
So do you see, this is something that happens a lot in couples.
It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
And it hurts, but it's real.
Oh, man. I would be, if I did that randomly at times, like I'm already not little.
You can't add like 10 o'clock fast food trips.
I
know.
literally couldn't. You would just be like, Obadiah, we're going to have to talk about, like, we can't afford to buy you a new chair.
We don't know what's going on, but something is.
Yeah. All right. But you know what? Good for him, Eric. Be out there. Get that.
Go stop off if you want. But they're saying that
betray your wife.
In relationships,
Hilarious.
that is something that pops up if you're going someplace and you don't let your special someone know that they could also get something from there, they're going to be sad.
Look, I'm going to give you guys a little hot tip on this, all right? Use cash and get it thrown away before you get home.
We may never know.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to use cash right now. There's a shortage.
Use cash.
Are we supposed to have like burner cards or what are you doing? Like your own?
Use cash.
Oh.
All right. And by the way, on your way home, keep the window rolled down.
So
you don't want to end up smelling.
It sounds like you're trying to hide smoking or something.
Or cheating. You're like, I can smell her on you. And
it's Wendy's.
You saw Wendy again, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's why there's hurt feelings.
What is it that she has that I don't have?
Why wasn't my meal good enough?
She's got fryers, Nicole, okay? She has fryers.
So, all right, well, see how...
I can get fryers.
You can't bring
Not air fryers, okay?
That's all I have. You can't bring this thing up. Put this study away. There's a lot to this.
Man, this is a deep hole.
I don't want to talk any more about it.
Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Can I just tell you how jealous I am of the woman in these photos?
What is she doing?
Whoa, what does that mean? She is doing some powerlifting outdoors. And everyone, I don't make a big deal out of it. I just live my life and try to be grateful. But I really like to lift weights. And I am, when it comes to weightlifting, like handicapped. I broke both of my arms. And I don't mean like I broke the forearm. Like I broke both of my elbows. I had to have reconstructive surgery, all this stuff. So my arms hang crooked and they don't extend all the way. It puts extra pressure on my shoulders and look, that's the best I can do. And man, when people lift weights, do you know how when guys lift weights and they get those awesome triceps? Mm-hmm. So when you see a guy's arm and he'll just have his arm like hanging down and you'll be like, look at his tricep. I can't get that. I can't extend my arm far enough to complete the movement to get that kind of definition. And I'm jealous
of it, but he does like to go lift, so you go to the gym.
And you know what else? Let me tell you something else. I have some friends that are like, we're starting a softball team. You should come play softball. No. Do you know how much? This is ridiculous, but it's true. my whole life, do you know how much it hurts to throw a ball?
Really?
It hurts.
Aw.
It hurts my shoulder and it hurts my elbow. And forever I was just like, well, I'll just do it anyway. And now I'm like, no, it hurts. And I can't throw a ball straight to save my life because I never know, like, which direction is Crooked Arm going to fly through the air as he's attempting to throw the ball.
So you don't want to?
No, I was trying to explain. I'm like, listen, no, I'm not playing. I'm putting you on the list. You're playing. I'm like, no, look, come here. Let me explain to you why I don't want to play. I don't care you're playing. It's fine. Like, no, I can't even throw hard. I can't throw a ball from the outfield. I would have to catch the ball and then run it in.
Well, you could still do that.
Get halfway there and be like, I'm trying to throw now.
You don't want to be in that spot.
Oh, it sucks. But what I should do, I should be grateful, Nikki, because do you know if I had broken, my doctor told me this. I was just a kid when this happened. But he was like, if you had broken your arm like this 10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to move it at all.
Oh, so at least you have something.
So, like, my mobility is a gift, and I try not to complain. But every once in a while, I see a power lifter with their arms extended. And that bar all the way over their head, and I am just straight up jealous that they can make that movement. And I'm over here like, it's fine.
Well, it's an interesting article talking about she started lifting. Well, she's a lifter, but she moved it outdoors with the start of quarantine, which a lot of people have done if you were going to a gym and then suddenly those got shut down. So it's just talking about how that process went with starting to work out outdoors if you're a lifter.
Yeah.
You could do that. You could you put it in your garage. I have a neighbor who does that. He has the stuff in his garage. He just rolls it on out, and then he does his workout on his driveway, and then he rolls it back in.
I've thought about that, like just getting some equipment and storing it and bringing it out. But then everybody can see how crooked my arms are. Just let me go to the gym. Let me go to the gym.
They're not even noticing.
Let me hide in the corner, and then every once in a while, someone's like, "So, how come you're not doing it this way?" I'm like, "Because I'm going to drop this weight on your head. Let me spot you."
Is there a private area in your property where you could have the workout stuff instead of just out front on the driveway?
You know what? At some point in life, I just need to give up. I need to move into the basement and finish my transformation into Jabba the Hutt and just be okay with it.
Just move your gym down there.
Just be like, Boshuda, Alexa, turn on the TV. Bah.
No, I feel like there's no talking to you.
My arms can't reach the remote. I have to have voice-activated television.
I'm going to click out of this article then.
There's
done. Nothing there.
Sorry, I was just thinking about all of that.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
You know, Nikki, I think it's the same Eli. He's the one that creeped into our show yesterday and got me talking about classic movies.
He found you a list for you. He posted on our Facebook page, which is at RadioU Riot.
So he sent us a list of best end-of-the-world movies. And do you want to know something crazy? One of the movies on this list, I watched it last night.
You did? I thought you were going to say you've seen the entire list.
No, there's actually tons of movies on this list that I've never seen. But the movie I watched last night was War of the Worlds from 1953. It is so impressive, and it is actually a good movie. Now, I've been watching these old sci-fi movies that I think a lot of them would not appeal to most people, but I thought it was actually really good. And I was surprised by the characters are not overwritten, for lack of a better way to say. They don't overact. The only person that I feel like makes it feel a little out of place is that there's a very specific way that females act in movies from the 50s. And I mean when it comes to their emotional reactions.
Yeah.
Like they go insane and just start screaming as loud as they can.
Yeah.
Very out of place. Like you don't see that.
But that was a style in movies back then. It's
absolutely.
It doesn't mean that's how women in the 50s were actually reacting.
But in film, that's what you see. And
sure. That's fascinating.
It's got a couple of moments like that where you're like, okay, all right, let's all calm down. It is the end of the world as we know it, but we're fine.
Well, we still have to keep our wits about us.
Come on.
Even if it's the end of the world.
But a great movie. Let's see, other things on the list. The original Mad Max, never seen it. Miracle Mile, never heard of it. I've seen 12 Monkeys. I saw that one. The Day After Tomorrow. Man, anything directed by Roland Emmerich, I'm just pretty much out.
He counts on this list?
I'm just out. Children of Men. It's been a while, but I saw that. I never saw Daybreakers, Legion, Take Shelter, Melancholy. I haven't seen any of this stuff. The one movie that I keep saying I'm going to watch that I haven't is on Netflix. That it was a huge hit in China. It's called The Wandering Earth.
You never watched it?
I still haven't watched it. I started it, and then I was like, yeah, I'm coming back, and then I never came back.
So you never finished it.
Yeah.
But it was so big in China.
Huge.
That people in the United States and other countries were very much interested in, I guess, legally obtaining it or watching it. And then Netflix got it, and it did well for them.
You know what? Maybe I should just watch that this weekend. I was going to watch War of the Worlds. Now I'll watch The Wandering Earth.
Depends. Are you wanting still a classic movie? Because this is not classic, but it is an end-of-the-world movie.
It's not classic, but sometimes a good international film, just clear the palate.
Yeah, change things up a bit, right?
Yeah, do things a little differently. Why not?
Well, thank you, Eli, for sending the list. It's in the comments section. If you find our post through RadioU Riot on our Facebook page, you can see it there if you want to.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
From the Department of Potentially Made Up Statistics, we have some numbers for you.
Well, let's hear them.
That would be some numbers for good old Disney World. And again, the reason Nikki and I talk about Disney World a lot during this COVID-19 thing is not because we're huge fans of Disney World. It's because Disney World is, in a lot of ways, a thermometer. Like, it's a place where you can kind of get a pulse or an idea of, like, what's going on with other theme parks and just society in general. They say over the next 2 years, or I guess it would be like this year and next year, they will have seen attendance at Disney drop by 100 million people.
That is so many. That is so many.
Think about, and I get it. You're like, well, okay, but think about this: 100 million people at $100 a piece.
Not even 100. It's more than that. That's being generous.
I'm being conservative.
That's being very generous.
Not counting any of the other money that they would spend. That is a company that was expecting $1 billion and didn't get it.
Sure.
That's wild when you think about it. I know Disney has a lot of money and blah, 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 whatever, but still, that's wild.
So they're saying attendance, they just are never sure when, because of the scale of how many people would normally go into Disney. They're not sure when that will ever be able to go back to like full capacity.
Right.
And just a reminder too, Disney in Anaheim is not even open yet. It's only Disney in Orlando that is.
Right. That's the 100 million that they're talking about. They say in Anaheim, the expectation is that attendance across 2 years will be 32 million less. So less, but they get less visitors anyway because it's a smaller area,
smaller park
than what you see in Orlando. It is hard to know though, like, how accurate that is, because there's that, which is a company that's talking about money. Can you trust their numbers? In the meantime, I'm reading an article right now about the fact that if you count currently, it says there are more people in the hospital right now with COVID-19 than there has been during the entire pandemic. But I have friends that are saying that those numbers are a lie. So,
it just, you don't know. You do not know.
I'm not just saying this when I say I don't know what to think.
Now, Carl texted he's going to Disney this weekend because of the lack of people. I mean, if you are a fan of Disney, like, that is the time to go because they say it's the cleanest it's ever been. And if you wear your mask and social distance, if you follow the rules, the lack of people attending is something that's very attractive for people to still try to go to.
Oh, and Carl says if we catch the Rona, no, we love you both.
He's teasing. He's not teasing about loving us, but no, he does.
Love us.
Yes.
That's fine.
Well, be safe, though, and just, follow the rules, that the guidelines that they set up.
Yeah, and Carl, think about, buying some extra things while you're there because Disney, they're really hurting, bro. So, like, just show your love, buy some extra souvenirs. So, maybe just leave some donations at the front.
So think about this. What's your opinion on, most of us have been to Disney, and most of us have maybe been to Disney a couple of times.
Yeah.
So, you know how, like, consoles say that they always make money on their games and that, but not really the console? So, when you go into Disney, it's so expensive. It is so crazy how expensive it is.
Yeah.
But do they even consider that, or is their real loss the food and the merchandise that they normally sell in the park itself, too.
Wait, are you saying the food is a loss leader for them?
Meaning like...
Or are you saying that it's so expensive to maintain, they don't make money on the ticket, they just make money on the concession?
I'm just curious. Like, are they just... what is the money they make on merchandise and food compared to, is there a loss with now having less people?
I'll say this. I would never argue that Disney is not a premium experience.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very nice place to visit if it's not that crowded. But you would have a difficult time convincing me that at any juncture in the park, they're not making a profit.
Well, they have to. I'm sure they are.
From the door to the food to whatever, they are making money on every single transaction.
I'm surprised there's not a charge to use the bathroom. Like, it's almost to that point.
Don't think it's not possible.
Because last time I was there was practically, what was it, like a 40-minute wait just to get into the bathroom.
I mean,
not
think
even a
about
ride.
That. It's a Disney bathroom.
The Riot Radio U.
Here we are. Spend some time with us this weekend. I don't know. Nikki, what are you going to do this weekend?
I want to go berry picking tomorrow, and no one probably saw that answer coming. But I found a place on Facebook.
You're right.
No one saw that, right?
That was not.
I know. I don't know why, but I went a few years ago, and someone else went, and it's a place that you can still be distanced away, and you just get your berry bucket, and you go around and take them home.
And berries?
Yeah, I didn't want to just buy the berries already picked. I wanted to go do it myself. So
okay,
that's what I think I might do tomorrow. I set a reminder to decide around lunchtime. So
okay, all right. So my plans tomorrow, I'm going boating.
Look at us getting out. Do you see this? We're getting out and doing stuff.
Right. I've got a friend that's got a boat, and it's like, hey, you should come out on the boat with me. I was like, all right, sure. And then yesterday I called and I was like, hey, what do you do on the boat?
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Are we going to swim? He's like, well, probably won't swim. I was like, okay. Are we going to fish? Yeah, I mean, you can, which I don't want to.
Sure, that's not on the table.
Doesn't remotely interest me.
You just ride around in the boat.
Right.
Yeah, you get sunshine. And
you go on a boat. You're basically on a boat ride.
Yeah, for however long you want. Take a nap on the boat. You could swim. I mean, most people do if you want. If not, you eat on the boat.
Like, I'm not trying to be weird about it, but I literally was just like, I don't know how long do we go out on the boat? Because, like, is it like an hour? Is it 2 hours?
No, some people boat like all day.
And you're just riding around in a boat?
Or you just go and you just enjoy some quiet time on the water. But yeah, you just drive around.
But there's other people in the boat, so it's not going to be quiet because they're going to be talking.
That's why I think a lot of people drink when they go boating. Okay, it just makes the time disappear.
Right,
so I think that might be it. If
so
not,
people go out in the boat and drink,
or they just
and then
sit
come
in
back
tubes.
with insane sunburns.
Sitting in their tubes, forget the day went by, and
Nikki, I could be tubing.
No, I want you to go tubing down a river, and that's not what you're going.
The lake doesn't count.
No,
it has to be a river.
Yeah, I see a lot of people just circle their boats and they make like a little party area.
Okay, I'm now. Like, that doesn't sound like me. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you.
You want to go berry picking instead?
No, I want to. Listen, this going out on a boat's a great thing because this is going to be a new experience.
Yeah.
I haven't done this. So this will be one more, item to add to my repertoire of life.
Bring your phone or bring your Switch in case you get bored. So you can do that.
I'll have my phone. I'm not taking the Switch. Too risky
with the water.
I feel like I'd be holding my Switch and step onto the boat and it'd be like, oh!
And those things are worth some extra money right about now, so you still don't want to lose it.
I'm going to make a ridiculous statement. I could get a new iPhone, but there are no new Switches.
It's too hard to find.
They don't exist.
Well, have fun boating. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll have fun berry picking.
Look,
that'll
guys,
be
if it starts with a B, boating or berry picking.
And berry picking.
Apparently, that's what we're doing tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no, I missed it. Do it again.
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
It just feels more and more like I should just stay in my basement.